Hello everyone, today we will talk about the transit of the Earth. Transiting Earth is in Quincunx with natal Jupiter. How transiting Earth in Quincunx with natal Jupiter will behave depends on the position of natal Jupiter. This transit may be more prominent in your life if you already have planets aspecting your natal Jupiter. But the basics are as follows. This transit brings the potential for tension and financial stress. It is necessary to correct the imbalance between the assets you give and the assets you receive. However, it will be very difficult for you to keep your concentration and stay on task today or do any unpleasant or demanding work. The incompatibility of the planets will force you to exert yourself excessively, and this will manifest itself in different segments of your life, because you will take on more responsibilities and obligations than you can realistically handle. Your optimism and self-confidence can lead you to believe that you can achieve anything, often ignoring the limitations and boundaries that are necessary for personal well-being. The conflicting characteristics that appear in the Quincunx, among which stubbornness and persistence are mixed with melodrama and obsession, will turn you from a generally fun, warm and generous person who enjoys the company of people and likes to entertain friends with your well-developed sense of humor, into a person who takes the situation too far and leads to embarrassment and controversy. If you have done too much for someone, they may take advantage of the situation and make you feel used and abused. On the other hand, if you have taken someone for granted, they will probably withdraw their affection until you realize how much you need them. So, the tendency to rely on external sources for your own happiness and satisfaction, instead of cultivating a strong sense of self-worth and satisfaction from within, is one of the main features of this transit. But it's important to recognize the difference between being truly confident and relying on others to validate your sense of self. As we have already stated, Earth and Jupiter do not have common plans and in most cases do not support each other. When it comes to the Quincunx, the incompatibility of signs and houses only increases the awkwardness of the transit. Well, we have tendencies towards excess extravagance, and personal indulgence or laziness is increasing now. So, if you exaggerate, you will experience embarrassment, shame, or financial difficulties. This propensity for overindulgence and exhaustion stems from your belief that the world will always provide for you. This going to extremes causes friction in material areas of life, especially in transactions with social situations. While this underlying tension produces incredibly creative ideas, it will also escalate into anxiety, obsessive-compulsive disorder, irrationality, or hypochondria. In certain situations, you will be introverted, lacking energy and ambition. Discovering how to set realistic limits and boundaries is critical to your happiness and overall health. When you use the transit like this, you can enjoy a lot of things, especially from people, because you are generous, playful, good-natured, even happy. You will also receive a gift, money, offering, or other pleasure as a karmic reward for past good deeds. Tactfulness will help ease any tension in awkward situations. Also use your sense of humor to break the ice. However, the tendency to push the boundaries will lead to someone being offended, as people will be especially sensitive about religion, morality, and memory. So, the religious and moral standards of the opposing party will probably be quite different from yours. You don't have to create an offer based on them, but the whole situation will go much more smoothly if you pay attention to how you treat them. Overeating will also lead to problems. You will actually get sick from too much rich food, sweets, or alcohol, so be careful. Beware too, of anyone or anything that appears to you that seems too good to be true, because there is no doubt that it is. When you look at it at the end, without being easily convinced or forced to exaggerate, you will find true joy and fulfillment. By setting clear boundaries and learning to say no, when necessary, you will avoid taking on unnecessary burdens that belong to others. This will allow you to establish a healthy balance in your life and maintain a sense of well-being and harmony. Consider the following question: how can you cultivate a genuine sense of self-worth and fulfillment without relying on external validation or overexerting yourself?